Hey, this is Pad with your Monday team shot. I want to share with you an interview I recently had with Attila the Hun. Yeah, for real. What you may not have realised is that Attila the Hun works at Heathrow Airport cleaning aircraft. So that might be a far cry from the role of that infamous historical character that we've all heard about, but I learnt an important lesson about boundaries and focus from Attila the Hun at Heathrow that the Attila the Hun of history never really grasped. For my new friend Attila, he had his job clearly defined. His remit was clear. And yet his managers seemed to want to keep loading on extra responsibilities. And my friend Attila said no. And for him, as well as the staff around him, that was a very wise move. It can be very hard to say no to a request that somebody's making of you, especially if you love and care about the person, or if they have direct authority and line management over you. And yet sometimes we need to manage up. The other thing we need to manage up to sometimes is our own brains, because especially if you're more on the creative side of the spectrum, if you're a mystic, a lover or a jester type, then you will have regular ideas, inspirations, creative thoughts, constant ideas for new projects or exciting activities that you can get involved in. Some of those things are wonderful and make you the genius that you are, but some of them can severely impact you and distract you from the things you've currently got going on. Sometimes we need more of that sovereign mindset, the coolness of the sage before we kick into warrior action on something. The sovereign looks at the bigger picture, sets a strategy and ensures that everybody's working towards it. They also know how to delegate to others who are better at doing those jobs and have a way of persuading those people to get on board with the vision that they have to advance the dream, the kingdom, the territory, if you like. So how well do you do as acting as the sovereign in that capacity, taking responsibility for the bigger picture? And then bringing people on board, inspiring them, telling them about the vision, getting them on board, and then delegating to people that you can trust those activities that really you shouldn't be doing, even if you are capable of doing them. The problem with the Attila the Hun of history is that he would often bite off more than he could chew. He couldn't say no to the opportunity. But then with an army of 500,000 people at his disposal, he felt that he could do pretty much whatever he wanted. You see, from a military perspective, that any territory that you annex, any territory that you invade, you then need to occupy. And you need resources and command structures and communication structures and trustworthy people, as well as the force to enforce your new rule. You're going to need those things in place or you are going to lose control of that territory. You will have lost a lot of time, resource and energy taking a space that you only then were going to lose. Now, the Attila the Hun of history didn't have a problem taking territory. He was very well known for land grabbing, for taking over other countries and then demanding extraordinary tribute from them. And he was also known for randomly increasing the tribute that he was demanding from these territories. Now, he wasn't beholden to managers or bosses. Even his own brother, who contended for his power, he killed. But he did seem to have a problem with greed. When an opportunity was laid before him, he just couldn't say no. It takes boldness and courage to say no, and to refuse to take on responsibilities that are just not yours to take on. If you are going to suffer in some way by taking on the extra workload, taking on the extra territory, then you better consider the implications of your decision. And sometimes, like my new friend Attila, it really is wisest to simply say no. As you go into this week, think seriously about the requests that are placed your way and how many of them you actually really ought to say no to. Here's to an amazing week ahead. Hey, this is Pad with your Monday Team Shot.